Next up is ATP Rotterdam. So, of course, let's look at last year's results first. Carlos Alcaraz, of course, defeating Alex de Minaur in 3 sets in this one last year, with Hubert Hurkacz making a semifinal and Mattia Bellucci also making a semifinal in that one. So let's look at some of the seeds this year. We got Alex de Minaur, FAA, who just wrapped up his title in Montpellier. Alexander Bublik, Daniil Medvedev as the 4 seed, Karen Khachanov as the 5, Norrie as the 6, Talon Griekspoor as 7, and Arthur Rinderknecht at the 8 seed. In terms of the draw, wow, that seeing a number one next to Alex de Minaur is I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen that very often. But anyway, how about this first round matchup? Him versus Arthur Fils. Now, Fils had an okay tournament at Montpellier. He did well. But then really struggled against FAA. It was good to see him get a couple wins under his belt. I would expect de Minaur to win this one. I think it's a tough matchup for Arthur Fils in that one at his current like physical state, and at his current playing form as well. And we got Stan Wawrinka making his farewell tour against Vukic. I definitely got Wawrinka in that one. Van de Zandschulp against Pavlovich. I would expect Van de Zandschulp, but who knows? Tsitsipas Rinderknecht, good first round matchup. Medvedev Ugo Humbert, now that's a fantastic first round matchup. Gaiden Udin Fucsovic, Royer O'Connell, Bautista Agut, Norrie. Tough draw here for Medvedev getting Humbert in the first. If he gets past that one, he could be on a pretty good path. He's matched up with Cam Norrie, seeded player. They could possibly meet in the quarterfinals. All in all, I'd probably pick the winner of Medvedev and Humbert to get to the quarterfinals, but we will see when I get to my predictions. And then in the top section, I'm looking at that Tsitsipas Rinderknecht. Can Tsitsipas do anything in this tournament? He's all could be dangerous, especially with the winner of that match facing Van de Zandschulp and Pavlovich. You feel pretty good. You feel that the winner of Tsitsipas Rinderknecht would probably be the favorite in that matchup. But yeah, interesting top half. de Minaur getting matched up with Rinderknecht is not the worst thing in the world, in my opinion, for him. Relatively not an awful draw for de Minaur, in my opinion. I don't see that Fils match in the first round being as difficult a match as it may look on paper. As we go to the bottom half, the seeds that are matched up is Karen Khachanov and Bublik, and then Greeks for FAA. Khachanov, the young, I expect Khachanov to take that one pretty easily. Jaume Munar versus Budkov Kier, interesting first round. Grenier Struve, Hurkacz Bublik. Now that's another fantastic first round match. We got 4 very, very interesting first round matchups so far. And let's see. Also got Griekspoor Pericard, Alice Rotengering, Zizou Bergs, Marojan. That's a fun. Wow, what an unseeded matchup that is. And Popper and FA, a lot of good first round matchups, to be honest, all around. I would say if we're going to look at the top section of the bottom half and looking at that Bublik Hurkacz match, that's a very important one. The winner of that will be feeling pretty good. As you look to the bottom section of this half, the Greece for Pericard Alice Rotengering is a little bit of a wild card, especially with the 4 players in Bergs, Marojan, Popper, and FAA underneath them. So yeah, overall, I would say a relatively tough draw for FAA. I expect Popperin shouldn't be the biggest issue, especially on the indoor hard court. Not that Popperin can't play, but FAA is playing great on the indoor hard court. I would expect FAA to win that one, but Popperin it's always a little bit of a wild card. But I'm more looking at that second round. Marojan Bergs is going to be a very tough test for FAA in that one. And then, tough draw for Bublik in that first round. Then it gets a little bit easier if he were to win that first round. All right, now, in terms of predictions, for my quarterfinals in the top half, I will be going with Alex de Minaur to get past Arthur Fils and probably get past Stan Wawrinka as well. To make it to the quarterfinals, I will have him facing off against I'm going to go Arthur Rinderknecht, and I have De Minaur making it to the semifinals. That could be very, very close. Then in Medvedev Humbert, I expect actually Hugo Humbert to pull off the upset against Daniil Medvedev. Hugo Humbert have been playing very well this year so far, in my opinion. His only losses uh, are he lost to Cam Norrie in a match that he really should have won in the first match of the season. I believe it was in Brisbane. He lost a very competitive one against Makic in the final of Adelaide. And then in the Australian Open to Ben Shelton, and then Manarino, Adrian Manarino, last week in Montpellier, which is just a weird fluky matchup in my opinion for him there. He's been playing very well, and I mean, so is Medvedev, but I will be picking Humbert in this one. Uh, and because of that, and because of the rest of the draw in this section, I'll be taking Hugo Humbert to make it to the quarterfinals, and he will be facing against Cam Norrie. And I expect Humbert to get his revenge over Norrie from the Brisbane match, and I expect Hugo Humbert to face off against Alex de Minaur in the semifinals. In the bottom half of this section, uh, definitely I have the winner of the Hurkacz Bublik match making it to the quarterfinals, definitely in this one, and I'll be taking Alexander Bublik to figure it out in the quarterfinals. I have him facing off against Karen Khachanov in the quarterfinals, even though I could see John Menard make it to the quarterfinals. With that, I do have Bublik making it to the semifinals. I think the winner of Hurkacz Bublik makes it all the way to the semifinals in that one. And then in the bottom section, uh, I do definitely have one of the four players on the bottom making it to the semifinals. From this one, I think that they would win any quarterfinal against any of the opponents uh, in the uh, in the four above them in Griekspoor, Pericard, Alice, and Rotengering. Uh, in that section, let's go with Glenn Hollis to make it to the quarterfinals. You know, pretty good performance in the Australian Open this year. For Hollis, got a couple match wins, so I would take him to make it to the quarterfinals. And then in the bottom section, now FAA would be the chalk pick. I will be going with FAA in this one, and because of that, I do have him making the semifinals. I could really see any of the four on the bottom of those four, Bergs, Marijan, Popperin, and FAA, making it all the way to the semifinals. I will be going chalk here with FAA and have FAA face off against Alexander Bublik in the semifinals. In that match, I will be taking FAA to make it to the finals. And then I also have Alex de Minaur facing off against Hugo Humbert in the top half semifinals. In that one, I will be taking Alex de Minaur to defeat Hugo Humbert, even though I could see it being a very, very competitive match. I just see Alex de Minaur frustrating Humbert just a little bit, making Humbert play a couple extra balls that he wouldn't want to have to play, and could frustrate Humbert in that one. That leaves a final between the top two seeds in Alex de Minaur and FAA in the final. And in that one, in Alex de Minaur FAA title battle on indoor hard court, I would give the edge to FAA in this one, especially if FAA got to that final, he had been playing well and been playing comfortable, comfortable in the tournament. I think it is I would lean FAA in that one, but there's something about Alex de Minaur right now and the way he's been playing, the momentum he has. I think he wants to prove. I feel like this is a type of tournament that he would win. You know, he's a guy that tends to defeat the players that are better than him, and then loses to the few that are better. Sorry, tends to defeat the players that are worse than him, and tends to lose to the players that are just a little bit better than him in Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic. Really, those three. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what his record is against Zverev, particularly. But he plays everyone else competitive. I'll be going with Alex de Minaur, the one seed, to win the ATP Rotterdam.